From time to time, it's important to share who benefits from these podcasts and resources that I'm making available. Hi, I'm Justin Hitt from Inside Strategic Relations. Now, I own a number of newsletters, an advisory service, and I do analyst work for large businesses. My specialty is risk management. However, we solve problems through project management and supply chain. And I think it's very important for you to understand, who is this channel for? Now, I have multiple publications, but they all serve the same people. And these are unique individuals, such as yourself, who are affluent and yet independently thinking. So affluent means you have an above average income, but you are independently minded in how you generate that income. You might be an employee, but you might also be an entrepreneur. You're going to work for that income, yet build upon that income through a community-minded approach. Now, what does that mean? A community-minded approach, and this is where strategic relations comes from, is building up a strong community around what you want to do. That could be your local community, making sure that your neighbors are strong and capable. It could be a business community, making sure your business partners are strong and capable. But this is a local strength that builds value while protecting the mutual interest of the group. Now, that's not a protectionism where you are going to advocate to the government that they create laws so that other people don't get into the industry. This is understanding that a like-minded group of individuals who come together for a goal or an objective is more powerful than forcing that objective through outside means or demanding that objective. Now, it's important you understand this type of person, because this type of person finds that they have greater success in life, they have fewer challenges, more prosperity comes to them, and they have a greater outlook on the future. Now, I'm going to describe various conditions of the types of people who listen to my newsletters or read my newsletters, and you're going to find that you fit some of these characteristics. You don't have to fit all of these characteristics to have the success that we talk about, which is profits from business relationships. Now, the type of person who listens to these programs, they don't try to profit from personal relationships. Like, you're not trying to profit from your kids. You need to build that personal relationship without any strings attached. Your partnership with your spouse or other types of family relationships, it's not about what you can get out of them or manipulation. The business relationship is different, though, because the other person has a financial interest in the relationship itself, and the business relationship is built for mutual gain, usually the exchange of products and services. So to profit from business relationships, there are different characteristics. See, if you're always community building, that might not be advantageous to your family. Now, you should make it advantageous to your family because your family is that core and you build upon that family, but it is a community relationship such as with your church, with a fraternal organization, with your local chamber of commerce, with your local business associations. It is a community relationship where you are serving the community, but also discovering what this community wants as far as value to deliver. Another thing, let's shift gears a little bit. Another thing that a lot of the folks that are on my list are interested in is they are environmentally minded. They're good stewards of resources. So rather than just consuming everything, they're mindful about, look, how could we reduce waste in this process in order to improve our profits, but also to improve the perception or the outside view of how we're doing business, or to reduce the impact so that we can do business for longer. They're good stewards of their environment. And why is that important? Well, if you're a producer rather than a consumer, and you are a steward of the resources necessary to produce, you're more likely to produce longer. So it's cultivating the soil when you're planting a garden, and then building upon that, returning nutrients to the soil through organic means. You're going to be able to farm that land longer from an agricultural perspective. If it is a relationship and you've got a customer, so it's a customer relationship, and you know the customer's got $1 million to spend, a stewardship of that resource, which is the customer, is not getting all their money up front. At least not until you know exactly what they need to benefit and get what they're looking for, so that you can be sure it's a win-win relationship. See, one of the things that we talk about in consulting is we're not trying to sell something. We're establishing or starting a relationship where we can solve problems. See, they'll buy problems. They'll buy solutions for problems. You don't usually buy problems. Problems just show up on their own. But again, the type of person who listens to my materials, the type of person who engages with my services, the type of person who gets involved with what we teach is someone who is going to be proactive about problem solving, but they're going to approach it in a holistic way. They're going to seek improvement for as many people in that community as possible, for as many people in that relationship as possible, and they're going to do it in a way that they're not going to have any surprises later. So being a good steward is being honest about what you can deliver, maybe under-promising and then over-delivering, so that the customer feels great about their decision to do business with you. The folks who listen to this newsletter or are involved in my programs are opportunity-minded. They're motivated by the reward. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means rather than fearing something and moving away from what they fear, they're moving towards the prosperity. They're moving towards the reward. They're not out there helping people just to help people. You can do that within your family. You can do that within your type community. But when it comes to delivering a service to the marketplace, you can't continue to deliver the service unless you're able to make a margin on the work that you're doing. Now, here's something that's important, because I hear a lot of people say, especially during the .com and some of these other bubbles, is if I get enough customers, I'll make money. A person who I work with they think big, but they're accurate about their current state. So they might say, I'm going to double the business in the next 12 months. Okay, great. What's your current state? They know what their current state is. They know the contributing factors to what are their income streams, what are their expenses. And then we can bridge from where they are to where they want to be, no matter how big that where they want to be is. And by being accurate about your current situation or state, you're able to kind of get oriented. It's kind of like traveling somewhere. If you don't know where you are on the map, it's hard to figure out how to get to that next waypoint, that next destination. And I know, we got GPSs today. You could just punch in the address, but it might be more advantageous to look at the big picture, see where you are on the map, see where you're going, and maybe there's some place along the way that might be beneficial to visit rather than going straight to that long-term goal. So maybe they think big, they plan big, but they step back and say, what skills do I need so that I can actually achieve that? Because they're not dreamers. They're not people who have their head in the clouds, wishing and hoping and dreaming. They have faith. They have a reason and a rationale, but that internal locus control says, what do I need to do and where do I need to be? What does my team need to look like in order to get to where I'm going? Understanding they might have to take several steps along the way. Another thing is that they have the desire to live on purpose. I mentioned that some of them are religious, and that's okay. Different walks of life, different spiritual journeys, that's fine, but they aren't looking for miracles. They're producing results for their clients. They're delivering valuable services. They're understanding the psychology of their customers, the psychology of the people around them, so that they can build that strong community which delivers the outcomes at a fair value, a fair price. Everybody's winning. There isn't any, let's wait for the government to fix it. They solve the problems through new solutions. Those solutions are entering the marketplace of value, and then ultimately the marketplace decides whether these solutions will continue because they're accurately looking at their current state. So they know if they're profiting or if they're not. Now, this eliminates a large number of people. So I know when you go out on the internet, a lot of times you might be influenced by somebody who has millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of newsletter subscribers, or they're a name brand. I'm not that type of person. because the people that I'm looking for are the pillars of the community. Maybe they're not the pillar of the community today, but they have some of these other characteristics: independent thinking, high incomes, community-oriented, environmentally minded, producers rather than consumers. They're proactive to solve problems. They might have a few of those cases and move towards what is the typical or ideal individual that I tend to work with. But again, it is accurate thinking. It is being thankful. It is having faith that you'll get there, but understanding that there might be a longer journey. These points are so critical because, again, I opened this telling you that if you have these characteristics, by the way, things will tend to work out for you. Now, they'll work out for you not because of magic means. It's because when you treat people well, they tend to reciprocate. When you deliver valuable services at a fair price that do exactly what you say they're going to do, then customers build trust in your organization. I'm not talking about brand. I'm talking about trust. They know that you can deliver. They trust that you can deliver. When you build up teams of people, because a lot of folks do try to get success on their own. They try to get to these goals on their own. It never happens that way. When you start building up teams, you're starting to share the opportunity. So you might be thinking big and you've got $100 million idea. Okay, and on the way to the $100 million idea, you enroll individuals who have specialized skills. You cultivate relationships with customers. You do surveys. You work out the details to start moving towards that $100 million idea. And along the way, those who are participating and supporting your goal are actually benefiting. They're receiving income. They're getting paid fair for their services. They're getting told the truth rather than some blown up fantasy, some blue sky dream. And ultimately, it looks magical on the outside, but really problems just tend to solve themselves. If you're proactive about solving problems, a lot of times that's the risk management approach. What kind of bad things can happen and what controls can we put into place to reduce the bad things from happening? This is the kind of stuff that gets you results. Project management, for example. What resources are we going to need to get this deliverable together? And where are these resources located? What's it going to cost? You build out the project. Now, I tend to go and find individuals who can support and complement what it is that I deliver to clients or newsletter subscribers. And I'll be happy to introduce to you some of those folks. But they also tend to be in this kind of group. And then when we're talking about political leanings or religious perspectives, the diversity is wild. But it does tend to be individuals who have an internal locus of control. They're not waiting for some magic genie to come out and give them a wish or some government to step in and solve the problem for them. They tend to be very freedom-oriented, very liberty-oriented, and they tend to want to work together with their community to solve the problem, rather than working against people to solve the problem. Now, what's unique about these characteristics is that they can be adopted by anybody. They're self-sufficiency skills. They're forethought skills. They're skills that support planning and understanding where you are so that you can move towards something. And they're skills that we can help you cultivate. Now, like I said, I have a number of newsletters, ad briefings, copywriting tips, inside strategic relations, sustainable wealth secrets, prosperity homestead. These newsletters serve the type of individuals that I've just described here. Now, if you like more information or you're one of these individuals and you have specific questions about your situation and would like some answers, that's where the catalyst is for my podcasts, for my newsletters, for my blog content, for my training presentations, books, and reports. It literally is the questions these types of people have so that we can move challenges out of their way. Remember, I said they are proactive about problem solving. So you can't be shy. If you got a big problem, it's highly likely someone else has already solved that problem. So if you ask the question in the right way, And then you start moving towards a solution. You're taking notes. You're developing a product. You're looking to see if there's value in the marketplace that can be delivered. You're looking to see if somebody else offers the service. You're assessing the value so that you can start partnering with people. You can start gaining that win-win situation. Results will come to you. So again, I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations, but what I've shared with you today applies to all my publications. If you have any questions about what I've shared here today, you can visit www.justinhitt.com. Go to the contact page, ask me your questions. I would love to record a podcast, write an article, update a report, provide you an email back or a fax back to answer your questions so that I can see the results that you create. Nothing is more exciting than applying proven strategies, proven resources, and my role really is to gather those proven resources, to gather those proven strategies, to share the success in the sense of implementing proven techniques that get you the results you're looking for. Yes, you can transform business relationships into profits, guaranteed. And those profits include financial profits, emotional and relationship-related profits, profits of the different forms of capital. It's such an exciting prospect. Go through this podcast again. Which of these areas do you already have skills and strength? Because these are resilient factors. And then see where you'd like to have greater strength. And I would love to hear from you. Again, I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations. Thanks for listening.